I have played Project Zomboid for over 1000 hours, but I've never been in Louisville, so I'm gonna try to live here for a full year and then escape through a military checkpoint. And zombie population is gonna increase to insane over time. So far I got rid of 25,000 zombies. I nearly died 3 times. I faced huge hordes of zombies and built a secure base. Started off day 311 with ripping clothes I had in my van and turning them into rugs. And I decided it's time to focus on leveling up some skills I've neglected, as I will be moving out of Louisville, hopefully, in next 50 to 60 days. First I'm gonna prioritize trapping, as it will go really nice alongside butchering, and later a bit of electrical skill. Started off with making 28 crate traps, as at one point I just ran out of wood. Some of my cabbage was ready to harvest, so I picked it up and I will be using it as a bait. Only place with forest biome near me is Central Park, so that's exactly where I'm going. Unfortunately, there were some zombies gathering outside, so I had to deal with them first. I managed to place only 3 traps because my car attracted some unwanted attention and it became late pretty quick, so I went back to base. Following day after waking up, I've checked if other cabbages were ready, and they were not. So I went back and placed rest of traps and added bait to them. I definitely want to add more, but for now that will be enough. Since I had to wait until next day to check if I caught anything, another skill on the list was electrical. I was putting this one away for later long enough, and it was finally time to do some grind. I cooked myself a nice pot of stew, and I head out to Triple N building, as I figured they're gonna have a lot of stuff to dismantle inside. After so many months and after so many zombies killed outside, I expected there should be none left inside, so I went in and started dismantling everything. Computers, TVs, wall-mounted screens, nothing was safe from me. Around 7 PM I hit electrical level 5, and I'm starting to regret not dismantling walkie-talkies and radios, as that would speed up the process dramatically, but here we are anyway. Day 313. I've checked my cabbages again. Still not ready. And more zombies outside of a Central Park. Around half of my traps were full, which got me to level 3 in trapping. I loaded them all in my van, and I spent most of the day butchering all the rabbits, raccoons, and processing the leathers. I was very close to level 8 in butchering, so I grabbed one of my own rabbits and I sacrificed it to get missing XP. I read half of Butchering Volume 5 and went to sleep. After waking up and finishing book, I went out and collected saplings from where I used to cut down trees. And I built small drying racks for all the leathers I processed day before. Okay, not all, as there was a lot of them. It was getting late, but I still went out and worked a bit on my electrical skill. Day 315 started pretty normally. I went out, added fresh bait to my traps. I've done a little test to see if dismantling vending machines would yield me any electrical XP. Well, the answer was no, so I just went back to News Building Station. And this is where things start to get interesting. I accidentally misclicked and shouted. Hey. Not thinking much out of it, I just went inside and started dismounting stuff. What can go wrong, right? Right? I was minding my own business and dismantling all the equipment inside when I've heard a zombie. It was only one, so I quickly killed him. I didn't think any of it, and I continue working. By the way, that was first red flag. Second red flag, where all my alarms should be going off, was a bigger group of zombies that got inside. There were also a few outside, so I quickly killed them, and my brain still not registering anything wrong, went back and continued dismantling stuff. I was working my way through computers on a second floor, when I heard zombie noises again. I went to check, because this time it sounded like a lot more. Problem is, I was already very tired, and fighting in this condition, especially inside of a dark building, can be quite dangerous. I have no idea where this one came from. At this point, I started to panic. And I backed myself into a room with only one exit. The same one I came through. After quick thinking, I decided, fuck it, I'm going for it. And I started to run. That was stupid. With me still being close to heart attack, I realized I forgot to even check if I got beaten or have a scratch. Thankfully, my clothes protected me this time from my stupidity, and I will live another day. The rest of the evening I spent in base washing my clothes and getting ready for tomorrow. Following day I had to go back and clear all the zombies that showed up. And I was thinking about what happened before, and I come to some conclusions. Since I was driving around this place back and forth for months at this point, I suppose zombies started gathering behind one of the buildings on the left side. That one misclick that make me shout, I think it have triggered them to start moving towards me. It wasn't a huge horde, but given the fact how tired my character was, if I stayed there, I think that might have been end of this run. So yeah. After I killed all the zombies, I went back, grabbed my cowboy hat that I dropped on the ground, and decided I'm gonna do a bit more chill activities for now. I took an axe, some nails, and spent the rest of the day cutting trees, making some traps, and killing few zombies that were walking up to me. When I was done, I had 36 traps placed on the ground, and it was time to go back to home and read another book. This time, Agriculture Volume 2. I had a few hundred dirty rags, so I loaded them into my van, went to a fishing outpost, and I spent the entire day washing them. Day 318. I converted bones into smaller pieces and used them to craft bone armor until I hit level 8. And then I started reading Tailoring Volume 5. Next day it was time to empty traps again and load the van full of rabbits and raccoon meat. Also trapping level 4. I hit level 9 in butchering, and I probably had more meat than I will ever need. After I was done, I started reading Trapping Volume 3. Started day 320 with cooking some fresh rabbit stew, finishing reading book I started last night, Went back to my traps. At this point I had so much meat, I just started releasing them. I cut down some trees, I brought them back to base, and I cut them into planks. I've spent half of a day on making more traps, so I can expand my operation and replace the broken ones. Later that day I returned once again to Central Park to add even more. I was very close to another level in trapping, but I fell short. After returning back to base, I started looking into making some other weapons, but it was late, so we're gonna come back to that tomorrow. After waking up, I started looking into how to make maces. Took me a while to find all the stuff I needed, but I managed to craft one. And something else brought my attention. Metal Morning Star. But it required level 7 in welding. I will come back to this later. Anyway, it was time to test the mace. It felt really nice, and I absolutely love the sound of it, but it falls behind other weapons right now. Probably because my short blunt skill is quite low. Anyway, after zombies were killed, I took some Florida Yardbirds and a folding deck chair, and I put them on the roof of my base. I went back to leveling welding skill again. I hit level 5, but I ran out of welding rods. Day 323. As soon as I woke up, I started checking my carrots, as I'm running low on bait. And they were still not ready. I paid another visit to Central Park and hit level 5 in trapping. With no welding rods and fresh bait still not ready, I decided I'm gonna level up my electrical skill, as I was very close to another level. There was this nice office building just next to the main road that I already cleared. After dismantling whole 2 computers, few zombies actually showed up, so I quickly dealt with them. And I went back to work. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough, and I was lacking about 400 XP. So instead, I went to some homes that I knew were already clear of zombies, and spent few hours dismantling TVs until I hit level 6. Next 3 days I spent on Tailoring. I've got it to level 9, and I replaced all leather padding I had with fresh one to give myself better protection. I've spent the entire day driving around Louisville and checking most hardware stores if I haven't missed any welding rods. Also, I've checked Big Warehouse again. Some of you might be thinking, why not just go to Steely Revolve for welding rods and Voltec HQ for electrical stuff? And the reason is they're too close to military checkpoint. I don't want to go close to it until it's time to leave Louisville because of how zombie spawns work, and I'm about 30 days from true peak population. Anyway, I found another pawn shop next to another hardware store I haven't looted yet, but my character was already tired, so I'm gonna come back tomorrow. I quickly checked some traps that still had baits inside, and it was time to prepare myself for tomorrow. I took M1 rifle, swords, and some machetes.
I started blasting. Bang! Bang!
When I ran out of full magazines, I switched to swords. It's crazy how effective long blades are with high enough skill. They are cutting through hordes of zombies like they're made out of thin air. I know, multi-hit helps. When I got tired, I went back to base, reloaded all my magazines and went to sleep. After waking up, I went back to finish the job. Only thing worth of note that I found inside of the pawn shop was Long Blade Volume 5. And with amount of grind left to level 8, I'm not even sure if I will use it, but I took it anyway. There were still few zombies outside of the hardware store, but I was already too tired, so I'm gonna come back tomorrow, but before sleep I made 6 fresh swords. Day 330. I quickly killed all the zombies around the hardware store and found, drumroll, 0 welding rods. I was doing some exploring around the hardware store and I found another pawn shop. And there was absolutely nothing interesting inside. After returning back to base, I was thinking maybe I can go and scavenge some garages for welding rods. But I felt like doing something else instead. I loaded my van with food, fresh water. Yep, it's time for a road trip. Of course, I'm going for a drive, and it has to be a thick fog on that day. Anyway, my plan was to visit an airport, as I never been there before, and a small military checkpoint just to see what I could expect from a big one when I'll be leaving the town. Obviously, I had to hit something on my way. Once I was there, yeah, that's a lot of zombies. Well, that fog kinda broke my plans for exploring the airport, so instead I'm just gonna head to military checkpoint. And of course, I crashed again. Oh shit, that might take a while to clear. It's time to get to work. Once I become tired, I decided to use a farmhouse I slept in before months ago. It was fair distance away from here, so there should be no zombies. And I took some sleeping pills, only to wake up before 5 in the morning. I guess we started earlier today, and it's time to change the music a bit. I hit level 7 in long blades. Okay, that's a lot of zombies. Thankfully, swords are cutting through them like they're made of butter. At this point I killed more than 1,000 here. And I had to go back to the house earlier as I was getting drowsy and damage is falling off really hard when you're tired. And with nothing better to do, I just fast forward time until it was time to sleep. Day 333. It was time for another round. Midday I was able to get into the checkpoint and it looks like I'm getting closer to finishing here. The group seems to be getting smaller. I'm guessing one more day and I'll be able to start looting. But for now, another night at the farm. After a good night of sleep and few more hours, I was finally able to kill final group and get to looting. From the good stuff, I found Reloading Volume 3, 4 more magazines for my M16s, also 2 M16 rifles. And yes, I'm saving them for big military checkpoint. And out of all the things, 2 welding rods, yay! I was checking corpses just outside, when on side of my screen I spotted some zombies walking to me through the field. What the hell? Self-preservation kicked in and I backed the hell out of there. I will come back tomorrow after night of sleep. Finally, day 335. I was driving back to the checkpoint, and you know what? Let me share some wisdom with you. Part of living long life in Project Zomboid is to know when to back the fuck out. Yeah, I can sense this going really bad really quick, especially with my engine already in red. So I started driving back to base very carefully. Whatever loot was left behind was not worth it. Once I arrived back, I started unloading all the loot. Oh, did I mention? I picked 2 more Florida birds from farm I was staying at. Anyway, once I was done, I started leveling up welding again now that I had some rods. And it hit me. I'm an idiot. I could just dismantle metal sheets into small ones and assemble them back, again and again. Morning Star, here I come. I quickly hit level 6 in welding and started reading book volume 4 and then reloading volume 3. And since video is approaching 23 minutes long, I would like to thank everyone for amazing comments and incredible support you all giving me. If you would like to help, drop a like, leave a comment, and if you wanna see more, consider subscribing. Once again, thank you for your precious time, and I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day.